So one way I save is when I see something on the curb that I think I could use, I yell at Mike, stop! He puts on the brakes because he knows now to stop. And we back up and we go pick it up. We are always finding stuff either dumped on the highway or sitting on the curb or just sitting out, and we think, we could really use that. Maybe we should ask them if we can use that. So
we don't pick up everything.
No.
Only certain things that look like things that we were already considering that we need.
Yeah. And a lot of times I do that with plants. So one of my big things that my poor daughter and husband, right, Ellie? She's our camera person today. One of the big things I do is if I see a cityscape or something and there's a plant that I know that I could root, I will all the time holler at Mike, stop, I want to get that plant. So my most recent one, we were in Fort Collins, and they have a big university there that has a really good horticulture program. And so they're always coming up with new flowers and plants. And last October, it was the day that it was supposed to freeze. And we were up there driving around, and we were at a stop sign, and the light had just turned red, and I looked over and I saw this glorious Coleus.
A stop light.
Yeah, a stop light. So I told Mike, I said, wait, I'm gonna jump out and get a piece of that plant. So I did. And I jumped out and I ran over and I picked me off a start and brought it home, and now I have this beautiful Coleus that I've done all summer, all winter, that I've kept going, and now this summer I'm gonna put it out in my garden. And
What we should say, because I know somebody's going to comment on this.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is not like going and digging up a plant
No.
that the city had and dragging the plant home in a pot.
Yeah.
This is
like a little piece.
Going to a gigantic plant
Yeah.
and cutting off a tiny piece that
Yeah.
you're going to then root. So
Usually
the plant itself does not go anywhere.
Yeah. Usually when I do that, I get like a 2 to 3 inch cutting, 1 or 2 if it's a big plant, and that's it.
And it's
Nobody
like
even noticed.
A little piece of stem and 2 leaves.
Yeah. And I don't do it on private property or anything. But, like we were in Estes Park last summer and there was some mint growing along the sidewalk. So I plucked a piece of that and kept it going all winter. And now I'm going to have mint in my garden from Estes Park. So that's one thing we do. Another time we were driving along and I saw this really cool porcelain 1940s sink, farm sink. And poor Mike, his poor back. It hurts. So
Keeps me in shape, I guess. So it used to keep me in shape.
So we were driving along and I yelled at him, stop, and he stopped. Well, they had this sink and he could not figure out what I was going to use it for, but I ended up using that sink for 10 years.
Which one is that?
The red one. For 10 or 15 years, the one that's over there on the side of the house.
Gotcha.
It's probably been 15 years since I got it now that I think about it. And I use it for a planter. I've used it for a potting bench, everything. It's great. And so I'll stop if I see stuff like that sitting on the curb and pick it up if I can use it. Or planters, people will have pots that they buy trees in, and the great big planters are really hard to find. So I'll get those and put my big plants in.
This is a little sideline. Other things that we found, it's amazing the kinds of things you'll sometimes find on the road. I think one time she was looking for some 5-gallon buckets for the gardening, and there were a couple that they weren't chemical buckets, they were food buckets, I think. I said, I bet she'd like these, because she was already looking for them. A lot of times we'll be driving through the city and there'll be a tool.
Yeah.
And we'll usually stop and check it out real quick. And sometimes what that means is pull over, somebody jumps out and then drives around the block again. But we found like crescent wrenches and things like that fall off of work trucks, and they're just going to lay in the road and get beaten up. You never see the person who left it, and they're never going to find out that that's the spot where it was left. So we've gotten a lot of tools that way and other things like that.
So one time we found a kid's toy that had blown out, and it was on the side of the road, and we stopped and picked that up, and of course I sterilized it. Don't send me comments about how filthy it is. I sterilized it. And yes, I used bleach. So if you're going to send me comments about that, you can read my article on the website about bleach.
You might use alcohol though.
Well, I might have. Alcohol works really good too. So, you know, we're always finding little trinkets and things that we can use around the house. And just so you know, we're not like major hoarders.
Actually, we
comment.
have very little compared to most Americans.
Yeah, compared to most Americans. But if I pick something up, if I even think I can remotely use it, I'll pick it up and bring it home. And then later, it's already on the side of the road. I can just throw it away in my trash then. So I figure I'll get it, and if I can use it, fine. And if I can't, then I'll just throw it away.
Well, and much like our dumpsters in the country town story, we oftentimes will find things, and we have just a small location where we keep certain things in case we might need them. Then if we're going to move, or if we just realize we're really never going to use this, we'll end up selling it at a garage sale. So we'll find something off the road and end up selling it for $20.
Yeah, so we can
Or
make some
10.
money off of it too. So that's another way we save, is we pick up stuff on the side of the road.
And now for us, it's mostly hobby-like. Back
Yeah.
in the old days, we were making very, very little money.
Yeah.
And it was really it quadrupled our income to take all the stuff that we actually were going to need anyway, and use it, and then sometimes use it and then sell it.
Yeah, and we were able to have a good lifestyle without going into debt at all, because almost our entire marriage we've been completely debt free. The first 5 years we had some medical bills and some debt from Mike before when he was single, but otherwise we have stayed completely debt free, but still have a really good lifestyle, and so that's one of the ways we do it. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, like, share, and comment below.